Hello YouTubers, and welcome to the Saber's Lair. This time I'm doing a video on Taurus Quality. I recently submitted a video response to Nikon 777's video requesting that individuals talk about Taurus qualities because he was looking at, I believe, a 709 Slim, and he had heard different things about the quality of Taurus products. As a Taurus owner, I submitted a response, and I felt like a follow-up to that video was necessary, and so I'm doing a video on that with this. First of all, for those of you that don't know, Taurus is a kind of a middle of the road company. Their firearms are not as expensive as like your Smith & Wessons, your Springfield XDs. They're right around the same price range as some of your Glocks, and a little bit higher than like your High Point. So about a middle of the road type company. I have owned Taurus Firearms pretty much since I started getting into firearms. About 4 years ago now, almost 5 years, I think. And you know, I have not found their quality to be lacking. That's not to say I haven't had any issues with them. Excuse me. It's just that I don't really find their quality to be lacking. After I purchased a 30-06 and a 12 gauge, the first firearm, the first pistol, excuse me, that I purchased was in fact a Taurus. And this is it, and I just want to show everybody the mag well is empty. There is nothing, let's see, nothing in the chamber. This is a Taurus PT92 AFS. Okay, it is a 9mm. It's a Beretta 92 clone, and my understanding is that the difference between this and a Beretta is that the internals are made of different parts, different materials. Other than that, as far as I know, this is exactly like a Beretta 92. Okay, this was the first pistol that I owned. I've always wanted one of these, and when the opportunity arose for me to get a pistol, I jumped on this. I've had this for, like I said, about 4 years, maybe 5 years now. And that's actually my favorite pistol that I own. Because it was the first, and because I've had some very good times with this pistol. I've had some issues with it, okay, but what I have found that to be related to is the ammo. Apparently, Taurus pistols are really picky about the ammo that you can use in them. And I don't really blame that on the pistol itself. I've tried all kinds of ammo, and the only ammo that I really use anymore for this pistol is Remington UMC, because when I use that, the failure to feed issues are really not that present. I think that at first I was trying out different kinds of ammo. Seems like I tried Federal, Hornady, American, Winchester, I don't know, there was a couple other brands in there, and with those I always had issues with failures to feed, usually between 1 and 3 times within a magazine, and so I found the Remington UMC, and I've used that ever since. and I've had no issues with it. And I probably put somewhere in the vicinity of about 1,000 to 1,500 rounds in this firearm. I haven't shot it in a long time, but you know, it was the only pistol that I had for a while, and I was shooting it a lot when I first got it. This is a great pistol. It has a decocking feature. You know, the mag release here, it's easy to take down and clean. I love the stainless look on it. It's a very pretty gun, and it is my favorite handgun that I own. Shortly after this one, I don't know, a couple months afterwards, I decided that that was too big for me to carry, and I wanted to do I wanted to get my concealed handler's license. So because of my love for this and my success with it, I went out and I got this. And I've put videos up on this gun before. It is a Taurus PT 24/7 Pro CDS chambered in 45 ACP. Until recently, this was my everyday carry firearm. And as you can see, mag well's empty, nothing in the chamber. This gun is now safe. Let's see. I did have some issues with this firearm. Okay. But it wasn't the firearm itself. Here is the 12 round magazine, and the one that I originally got had some issues with the magazine, which was common with the Pro line of this time. And what happened was that the magazine lips right here were distorted, and it was causing stovepiping and failures to feed. After a couple rounds, maybe 2 to 3, it would start jamming on me. Sent this into Taurus, the original magazine. I sent it into Taurus. They sent me another one back. Had problems with that one too, and the problem with that one was that while the casing was for 45 ACP, the actual inside of the magazine was for 40 Smith & Wesson, so my shells didn't fit in there very well. Sent that back, and 3 weeks later I got this magazine. Just took it out and shot it a few days ago. I had no issues, none whatsoever. Again, what I did have issues with was the type of ammo that I put in it. Now currently these are some Federal Hydroshocks, and I also, when I shoot, I use Remington UMC in this because of the success with the 9mm in those rounds, and I have no issues with it. I think I put about 50 rounds, and that's the first time since I got the new magazine that I had absolutely zero issues with failures to feed. Okay. So I think a lot of my issues were related to the magazine ammo and some limp wristing when I first got both of these firearms. As for the firearms themselves, I would recommend them to anybody. In fact, I have recommended this to a buddy of mine who I was recently talking to, who was inexperienced and wanted to get a Glock, and I actually told him that until he got more experience, I felt that he should wait on the Glock and get something that had manual safety on there, just as an extra precaution. But you know, this has become my home gun now, my home defense gun, because I did pick up a Glock 27 the other day, which I'm going to do a review on here shortly. But you know, I don't understand why people knock Taurus so bad. In fact, the day that I responded to Nikon's video response, I was buying my Glock, and ran into a gentleman who was recommending the 709 Slim to another individual who was looking for something to carry. And he had nothing but good stuff to say about it. And we had this conversation about why people knock Tauruses, and we both came to the conclusion that, you know, it was probably just one bad experience tainted the whole line for them. Whereas, you know, I would and I have trusted my life to this firearm. Okay, I carried it for I think 3 years now, for the better part of 3 years. Shot over 1,000 rounds with each of them, and once I found the right round, the right type of ammunition as far as manufacturers go, and once I got the magazine problem fixed, I haven't really experienced any issues with them. I've never had to send these in, never had to take them into the gunsmith for any reason, because they have not failed me. It's been the other components, the ammo, the magazine, my inexperience at the time that I got them. You know, and would I buy another Taurus? Hell yes, I would buy another Taurus, because I have no reason not. I mean, I don't have a reason not to. You know, so you know, Taurus is not a bad brand. As with anything that's mass produced, you're probably going to run into manufacturing issues. You know, look at Glock. The Gen 4s have had numerous problems, including recalls. And from what I understand, it's not just the recoil spring assembly that's the problem. I actually was going to buy a Gen 4, and after the shop owner suggested that I didn't, I went and did some research and decided to get a Gen 3 instead. So, you know, don't knock on Taurus. It's not a bad company. They don't make crappy firearms. You know, you're gonna have issues with firearms from time to time. Most of the time, it's individual related, and sometimes it's not the actual firearm itself. It might be one of the components. It might be the ammo that you use. There's a lot of factors that go into the quality of a firearm, and it may not actually have anything to do with the firearm itself. So this is Saber 275. Hope that this was a helpful video for you, those of you who are looking at Tauruses but question their quality. And as always, please be safe and be a responsible firearm owner. And I will see you next time.